Regina Wascana is located on the southeast side of Regina. Its boundaries are the 5th baseline on the south, Albert Street on the west, the CP rail line and Victoria Avenue on the north, and Range Road 190 on the east. Voters in Regina Wascana are eligible to elect one of the following candidates. Haley Clark, representing the New Democratic Party. Tamala Friesen, representing the Green Party. Independent candidate Evangeline Gaudron. Incumbent Ralph Goodale, representing the Liberal Party. Michael Cram, representing the Conservative Party. Or Mario Milanovsky, representing the People's Party.
Good evening and welcome to Decision 2019. Your country, it's your vote. We encourage you, the viewer, to get involved. You can send a question to decision2019@myaccess.coop. Now I'd like you to introduce you to the candidates in the Regina Wascana riding. First of all, Mr. Mario Milanovsky, Mr. Ralph Goodale, Ms. Tamala Friesen, Ms. Haley Clark, and Mr. Cram, Michael Cram. Next we will go to the opening comments, and we will start the comments. There'll be 2 minutes each, and we will start with you, Ms. Friesen.
Thank you. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce, the home builders, Access 7, Mr. Hicks, the fellow participants, and you, the viewers, for making this happen tonight. May we all strive to be more educated and more passionate treaty people. I've heard what you've said on the doorsteps. You're really tired of politics and politicians. You're tired of Trudeau. You're terrified of Scheer. You're worried about climate. You're wondering about health care. Worried about jobs in the future. Everybody seems to be calculating the best way to spend their vote. And many of us are asking, does anybody in Ottawa really care for us? It's apparent to me that the same old red-blue politics has fostered among us a sense of fear and frustration, of division and apathy. That's not leadership. True leaders inspire courage, a can-do attitude. True leaders collaborate with their colleagues to make it happen. They invite participation from everybody in community. Elizabeth May has been doing this in Parliament for the last 10 years. I want to do this in the next Parliament for Regina Wascana. Together we can demand better. Rather than reactive policy, we can demand proactive action planning. Rather than partisan ideology, we can demand that our politicians work together to get it done. Rather than a red vision or a green vision or an orange vision or a blue vision for the next 4 years, we need to demand that Parliament produces a Canadian vision that's going to last generations. This election is about leadership. We need to demand better, and we can demand better. Stay tuned for more details. Together we can make it happen. The plan for reconciliation in the Green Party is one of my most favorite aspects of the Green Party platform. We are committed to seeing First Nations gain self-government. We are committed to implementing all the recommendations of the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women Inquiry, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. We want self-government for the First Nations so that they can take a lead on a council of governments to move us past the Indian Act, the decommissioning of the Indian Act. It needs to end, and we need to move forward as partners in a very complex environment to solve very complex problems for our communities. Some of the things that I would like to address first when I get to Parliament would be to make sure that K-12 funding on reserve is equal to K-12 funding off reserve. Right now, it's a far cry, maybe 30% of funding for on reserve versus off reserve. And we need to fix that so that First Nations children can take their rightful place as thriving community members.
Thank you.
The Green Party realizes that the trade crisis with China is huge and complex. and we need to work with other governments around the world to make sure that China is not bullying the rest of the world into deals that are bad for any of us, Canadians included. We also need to recognize that we can partner with China and with India on things like food security and reducing carbon emissions. India is already leading in wind power. We need to catch up to them, and we need to share technology with them to make sure that we can all move forward together.